This is Good Morning Connecticut on News 8.
A carjacking caught on camera in East Haven, and this morning, police searching for the assailants. We'll get you another look at this video and tell you exactly what happened.
He will forever be part of my life. I'm just learning how to live with that love.
Still had this morning an emotional conversation with the wife of one of the officers killed 1 year ago in Bristol.
And UConn basketball is back. News 8's Ken Houston live in stores with a preview of the events happening on campus to mark the start of the men and women's seasons. Good Morning Connecticut, 6 o'clock, getting started right now.
And they have that big party at Jim Calhoun Way right before, too. Something tells me coming off a national title.
It's going to be big.
Nice.
It's going to be good. Yep.
Well, it's nice the weather will cooperate for that, which is good. And we're trending in the right direction for the weekend forecast.
All right, very
See what
good.
happens when we kick Gil out for a day. I come in with good news. I'm just kidding.
Sam Cantro in for Gil this morning, talking a little weather.
Yeah, we're doing good for today. It's going to be a nice sunny day to finish out the weekend. Like I said, the weekend forecast is trending in the right direction.
Great.
Yeah, it isn't going to be a perfect weekend, but it is going to be a mostly dry weekend, especially if you're in inland areas, and it looks like the whole state should stay dry, to be honest with you, on Sunday, which we'll show you more in the 8-day forecast in less than 15. For now, the skies are clear, and they will stay that way for the entirety of the day today. I don't expect much in the way of cloud cover at all. Temperatures are still settling down. Waterbury now dropping down into the low 40s. There are some 30s on the map, but not on the towns that we have listed here, at least. Windsor locks at 44 degrees up at the airport. Wyndham is 43. The temperature in Lisbon 43, and in Meriden we're looking at 40s as well. A little breeze for today, but overall things are looking pretty good. We'll talk more about the extended 8-day forecast coming up in just a bit.
Okay, Sam, thank you. Well, a lot of the construction work has wrapped up this morning. That's good news if you are traveling early this morning. Not so bad out there. Not so bad at all in the North Stonington area. A very different look, as you could see on our map, compared to yesterday. If you were checking in with us at this time when we were watching that closure that just lasted for several hours. North Stonington, 95 northbound commuters, maybe you're heading towards Rhode Island, all lanes are open for you. Metro North looking a bit better as well. Yesterday we saw disruption in service, delays as well for Metro North New Haven line commuters. This morning, trains are on time. Continue checking your schedule. Shoreline East looks good. Hartford line, Amtrak as well. And this is what it's looking like out there, Keith and Laura, right now. Construction work has wrapped up. 84 westbound in Waterbury looking good. Milford 95, both directions as well.
Alyssa, thank you. An Uber driver assaulted and carjacked at a gas station early on Wednesday morning in East Haven. Yeah,
really scary video here to show you. Police are looking for suspects after seeing this. News 8's Natasha Lubchenko with a look at the video and the investigation. Natasha, good morning.
Laura, Keith, frightening situation here. That Uber driver told police that she was assaulted by 3 suspects while she was actually on her way to pick up customers. It happened in the very early hours of Wednesday morning, around 1:30 a.m. Now, we have a video I want to show you. I want to warn our viewers, though, it is a little hard to watch. It was posted by the East Haven Police Department on their Facebook page. It shows the assault that happened at the Forbes Fuel on West Frontage Road. And according to police, a black Nissan Rogue pulled into the gas station and parked next to the victim. Police did determine that that car was also stolen. When the victim started pumping gas, 3 men wearing dark clothes and ski masks exited the Nissan Rogue and tried to take her purse pretty violently, knocking her to the ground. Now, authorities say that they then, after stealing the purse, hopped into the car, stole her vehicle. They later found that car in West Haven on Thursday. They also found the Nissan Rogue just over the line in New Haven shortly after that incident. Now, East Haven police say that they are working with the New Haven Police Department because a similar event actually happened in that area as well, and they are still looking for the suspects. They are asking anyone with information to give them a call. We have the East Haven Police Department's phone number on our website, WTNH.com. Coming up in the next half hour, we will also have some tips if you are dealing with a carjacking. We have some tips from police. That's coming up next. For now, we are live here in East Haven this morning. I'm Natasha Lubchenko, News 8.
Boy, that is scary. Natasha, thank you. And police are searching for the person who allegedly assaulted a woman with a gun while she was out on a run yesterday morning in New Haven. Police say the 38-year-old woman was running in the area of Yale and Edgewood Avenues when an unknown man approached her, flashing the weapon. They say the man tried to force the woman into the woods, striking her in the face. She was able to run away, and the man disappeared into the park. Be sure to stay with News 8 for updates on this.
Lieutenant Dustin DeMonte, Sergeant Alex Hamzy, and Officer Alec Iorato embody exceptionalism.
1 year later, and the state continues to mourn the loss of 2 officers killed in the line of duty while responding to a call in Bristol. Yesterday, hundreds of people attended this vigil you see here that was held to honor the late Lieutenant Dustin DeMonte and Sergeant Alex Hamzy. Loved ones speaking out about their contributions to the community and their personal lives.
When we were speaking to the people coming and applying with us, they made it a point to say that they felt a calling after the sacrifices of Alex, Dustin, and Alec, and they wanted to come and be part of this.
That's Bristol police chiefs there saying that they have hired 8 new officers in just the last year, adding that he has so much pride for all of his department members who have shown great resilience and strength over the last year. The surviving officer in that ambush, Alec Iorato, didn't let this attack stop him from becoming a police officer, continuing his career as an officer. He came back to continue his service last month after firing that lone shot that killed the gunman.
And as we honor the heroes that we've lost, the Hamzy family now asking the entire community to join them next Saturday, October 21st, for a Back the Blue motorcycle ride of remembrance. It will be a tribute to not only Sergeant Hamzy, but also to Lieutenant Dustin DeMonte and fallen Hartford Police Detective Bobby Garton, who was killed in a crash in the line of duty just last month. The day starts with a motorcycle poker run at the Law Enforcement Memorial in Meriden. It will wrap up at the Farmington Polo Club, where there will be a car show and remembrance ceremony. Touch.
Heat 607 happening today. It is that time of year. Again, tip off to another season of college basketball. And of course, excitement is building for the UConn Huskies annual first night tonight. News 8's Ken Houston live for us outside Gamble Pavilion with a preview. Hi, Ken. Good morning.
Good morning, Laura. You know, today is Friday the 13th, but actually it turns out to be a very lucky day for all you basketball lovers, and that's because first night action begins this evening at 7 o'clock. Now, this will be the first time that fans get a chance to see the men and women's basketball teams in action since last year. That's when the men's team brought home a national championship title, you may recall. Meanwhile, here's what you can expect tonight. Player intros, a three-point contest, dunk contest, and a student half-court shot contest is planned as well, and someone could walk away with $10,000 as a result. We're also being told players will be drafted into teams by white team captain Andre Jackson Jr. and blue team captain Paige Beckers. That's right, she's making a return this year. But before first night begins, a block party, that is, will take place outside the pavilion. Expect food, lots of fun as well, and this is not just for students, of course, but also for season ticket holders and the public as well. Now, there's a timeline that we're going to share with you coming up in our next hour. We're going to go to break, and we'll have all that for you coming up in our next half hour. We're live at the on the campus of UConn this morning. We're going to head to a break right now.
Coming up on Connecticut's Morning Buzz, sports fans are in for a treat this weekend as the U.S. men's national team takes on 4-time World Cup champion Germany. This is happening at Rentschler Field. We have everything you need to know.
Plus, fighting for a cure this Metastatic Breast Cancer Day, we are chatting live with a patient about advancing treatments and a cancer concert you can take part in.
And New Haven's Pepe's Pizza, ooh, so good. Introducing a new fall pizza. We are headed into the kitchen to try it out with the owner and granddaughter of the very famous establishment. Very famous, to say the least.
I can't wait for that.
Happy you're with us on this Friday morning. Thanks for joining us on Connecticut's Morning Buzz. I'm Melissa Taglia.
And I'm Natasha Lubchenko. We start with our top news this morning.
That's right. We are bringing you the latest now. This just in, the arrest warrant of a former Glastonbury and New Britain police officer was unsealed just moments ago. 37-year-old Patrick Hemingway was arraigned in Manchester Superior Court for allegedly abusing the police database. He is currently facing charges of first-degree computer crime and making a false statement. We will have a full breakdown of this arrest warrant coming up on News 8 later on today.
Okay, and a frightening situation here. An Uber driver was assaulted and carjacked at a gas station early Wednesday morning in East Haven. Now police are looking for the suspects. The victim told police she was on the way to pick up a customer when she was assaulted by the three suspects in a gas station parking lot. A quick warning, this video is hard to watch. The East Haven Police Department released this video to their Facebook page. The alleged assault, it happened at the Forbes Fuel on West Frontage Road. In the video, you can see a black Nissan Rogue pull into the gas station, park next to the victim. Then when the victim starts pumping gas, three men wearing dark clothes and ski masks exit the car and violently take her purse. The suspects then quickly flee the scene in the victim's car. Shortly after police responded, they located that Nissan Rogue, which also was stolen, just over the line in New Haven. Officers also found the victim's car abandoned in West Haven on Thursday. Anyone with information on the suspects is asked to contact the East Haven Police Department.
New this morning, a woman was assaulted while jogging in New Haven yesterday morning. According to police, the 38-year-old woman was running in the area of Yale and Edgewood Avenues when a man approached her and showed a gun. The man then tried to force the victim into a nearby wooded area and then struck her. Canine units were used to search for the suspect, but they were unable to find them. We will keep you updated as we learn more.
And new this morning, details for the burial of the Windsor football player who died after collapsing at practice has been announced. A wake will be held on October 17th at the Lodge Community Chapel in Windsor from 4 to 8 p.m. An additional service will be held on Wednesday at Crossroads Community Cathedral Church in East Hartford, followed by a celebration of life at 11 a.m.
This is why we need a border wall right here. This is why we need a border wall.
All right, this video right here was shot by Jose Martin, who says he and his brother were doing a landscaping job in Middletown when two people who live in that neighborhood were upset about the noise and confronted them. The Martin brothers are from Puerto Rico, which is a Commonwealth of the United States. The couple was arrested following the dispute for disorderly conduct and have since apologized.
We made a mistake. Again, I was drinking. I haven't been myself lately. I have not been myself at all. I'm definitely not a racist. My son is Puerto Rican. I'm not a racist. And I'm scared to death to even be here.
I want to show the world that this is not right, and you never treat nobody the way they treat us. We sad, we still sad. We mad, I still mad.
The Middletown Police and Middlesex County State's Attorney's Office are trying to figure out if charges should be filed. The couple has also contacted police because of the harassment and threats they say they are receiving.
And local leaders are looking for ways to prevent illegal dirt bikes and ATVs from taking over streets in Connecticut. A newly formed task force is rolling out solutions to keep streets and highways safe. These bikes often hit the roads at a high rate of speed, weaving in and out of traffic, creating havoc. Over the span of 2 months, nearly 300 bike riders took over the Merritt Parkway.
I saw it firsthand, the havoc it created, the consternation and the fear it created in the people who were stuck there.
We may not catch you the first time, we may not catch you the second time, we will catch you.
And officials say people caught riding dirt bikes illegally will face a fine of up to $1,000 and possibly jail time. So far this year, 33 bikes have been taken off streets in New Haven alone.
10:05 now. Israel's military is urging more than 1 million people living in northern Gaza to leave the area within the next 24 hours.
Yeah, those evacuation alerts come amid Israel's retaliatory strikes against Hamas after the militants stormed Israeli neighborhoods a week ago, killing at least 1,200 people, including at least 22 Americans. Since then, more than 1,500 Palestinians have also died in retaliatory strikes by Israel.
A young infant riddled with bullets. A family hugging each other, in a death embrace, having been burned to death, beheaded soldiers, more. It almost defies human comprehension, precisely because it's not human.
As the war intensifies, the Biden administration is announcing that it will begin evacuating thousands of American citizens in the region starting today. Meanwhile, back here in Connecticut, synagogues across Connecticut are taking extra precautions ahead of weekend services following the Hamas attack last week. This comes while many rely on their faith for strength and unity, especially during a time of war. In New Haven, FBI Special Agent Robert Fuller tells News 8 they are monitoring potential threats made to residents and religious communities around the clock. Some synagogues are even offering services through Zoom for those who do not feel safe attending in person. All right, let's check in now with meteorologist Ashley Baylor for this Friday forecast, and it's pretty nice out there, Ash.
Yeah, it's beautiful outside, but the winds have switched more out of the north and northwest, so it's not going to be as mild as it has been the past couple of days, but temperatures will still manage to make their way into the 60s. Here's a look at our satellite and radar composite now, where we are not seeing a single cloud across the state. Let me verify that for you by taking a live look in Waterbury. Still a bit cool here. Temperatures only around 49 degrees in the Brass City. We're around 50 degrees in Enfield. It's 53 in Derby, 51 in Durham at this hour, and we're also checking in at 51 degrees in Stonington. Notice those winds again have shifted more out of the north right now, ranging anywhere between 9 to about 15 miles per hour. So if you are out today, you will notice that breeze kick up from time to time. So today we'll enjoy nice bright conditions, but as I mentioned, it will be a bit cooler with temperatures dropping into the low and mid 60s. We've been kind of spoiled the past couple of days with temperatures topping the upper 60s and low 70s. Now, we have been tracking some wet weather for the weekend. It still looks like we are going to be dodging some raindrops on Saturday, but Sunday actually looks like the pick of the weekend. It really doesn't look too bad. So one of those 50-50 style weekends setting up for us.
Okay, Ash, thank you. Well, today, as a lot of people know, Friday the 13th, right? But it is actually a lucky day for basketball lovers. Tonight is the annual first night for the UConn Huskies and, of course, their big fan group.
Yes, an exciting day. News 8's Ken Houston is outside Gamble Pavilion with a preview. Take a look.
Good morning. Tonight will be the tip-off to hopefully another great season here on the campus of UConn. And one of the reasons why everyone is so excited is because women's basketball player Paige Beckers is returning to the court. Last year, she was sidelined all season long after tearing her ACL. And the excitement continues, though, to hang on due to the men's team bringing home a national title last year. Tonight marks the beginning of a new season, and the annual first night is where it all begins. Student spirit is alive and well this morning, but not everyone was able to get their hands on tickets.
I wanted tickets, but they sold out really quickly because they were free for students, so I wasn't able to get them. Hopefully we win again. Go UConn.
Now, if you're heading this way tonight, here's the timeline of the events. Students can start lining up to enter the north and east entrances of Gamble Pavilion at around 2 o'clock this afternoon. The block party begins at 5, where you'll be treated to food, music, and lots of fun. Doors open at 6, where you'll see three-point and dunk shot contest, and some lucky student will actually win $10,000 in a half-court shot contest. And the court action featuring the men's and women's teams will start at 7 o'clock. Now, once again, first night is a sellout, but that will not keep you from cheering on the team to another championship title. We're keeping our fingers crossed for that. We're on the campus of UConn this morning. Ken Houston, News 8.
And we know they can do it.
Yes, they can.
All right, still to come here on Connecticut's Morning Buzz. Are you ready for the weekend? A lot of us are, yes. We have News 8 Sarah Cody checking in with us with 8 great things to do all around the state.
Yes, plus movies, and more movies. It is a busy weekend, and we are taking a look at what is taking the box office by storm right after the break. Stick with us. 10:23, welcome back. Medicare's open enrollment is right around the corner, and there is a lot we need to know. We are here with the owner of Senior Insurance Consultants and a licensed insurance broker, Tracy O'Brien. Tracy, welcome back to the show.
Thanks so much for having me.
So this is Coming up on Sunday, the beginning of this period, what dates do Medicare beneficiaries need to be aware of here?
October 15th through December 7th. Okay. That's when they have a chance to change their plan for 2024. So the choices that they make between those dates go into effect for January 1st.
Okay, and we were saying it sounds like it might be a decent amount of time, but it goes quick.
It goes very quickly, especially because you've got Thanksgiving thrown in there and Halloween, so people get busy and they procrastinate. It's a hard decision sometimes, but we encourage people to make appointments, review their coverage, and do it sooner than later.
Okay, so it's important for people to review, even if they already had coverage last year, to review it again. Why
Oh, absolutely. So there's some changes for next year, especially with prescription drug coverage. So really important that people are reviewing what they have, because they may be very surprised in January to find out that their premiums have increased or that their medication is covered differently or not covered at all.
Okay, and so that's for people who are, you know, already in the Medicare program, but what about people doing it for the first time? Anything they should know?
Yeah, so of course, knowing the time frames when they need to enroll by so that they don't incur any penalties unnecessarily, but they should know that they have a special enrollment period. So, you know, they may be able to make a decision for October 1st and then change again for January 1st.
Oh, okay.
But they're not beholden to that October 15th through December 7th.
Okay, that's important to know. Now, you say there's something called the Medicare Savings Program?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So I call it Connecticut's best kept secret.
Oh, we like that.
Secrets. I'm going to tell you, though. So here in Connecticut, in every state, but it's an extra help program for people who are on Medicare, and it may offer them extra help with their Part B premium as well as their prescription drugs. So a lot of people don't realize we have the second highest limits in the country. So, and it's not asset tested at this time. So if people are struggling with their prescriptions, they should call. We can do an application. It takes about 10 minutes. There's no cost, no obligation, but let's check out and see if we can get some help.
All right. Now, of course, this is a big important decision. It has to do with our health. Why should someone work with a broker?
Oh, so many reasons. First thing that people should know is that when they work with a broker, they don't pay anything extra. So we do this at no cost. The insurance company pays us to help. But when they're linked to a broker, we confirm that their application's in the system, their I's are dotted, their T's are crossed, their doctors are in network, their drugs are in the formulary, and they have coverage the day that they need it. And if there's a problem in the future, they lose their ID card, they have a billing issue, we go along with them, so we're their customer service as well.
Yeah, it kind of gives people a peace of mind also, because once this period is over, you're locked in.
Yes and no. So the other secret in Medicare is that, so many secrets. January 1st to March 31st, they have, so we're in AEP, but then there's OEP. So January 1st to March 31st, if people didn't choose correctly or forgot to choose, they may have an opportunity to make one change, I should say. And then people who have extra help from the state, they can change once per quarter.
Okay, so really important information to know. Senior Insurance Consultants is your business you run with your husband. Tell our viewers if they are looking to get some peace of mind here, maybe a second set of eyes, how can they get in contact with you?
Sure, they can call the office, 203-707-2371, or they can email hello@sic65.com, or they can go to the website, sic65.com, and they can book an appointment right there.
All right, Tracy O'Brien, we have that website right there, sic65.com. Thanks so much for the great info today and all the secrets.
Thank you for having me.
All right, and we'll have more on our website as well, WTNH.com. Keep it right here. We will be right back.
Next on News 8 at 4, the Jewish community is on high alert. Some Hamas leaders announcing a so-called day of rage. Steps are being taken to keep people safe.
A former New Britain and Glastonbury police officer accused of being a serial burglar, allegedly hitting dozens of businesses in several states.
Caught on camera, a purse and car stolen from an Uber driver at an East Haven gas station. Police are searching for those suspects. News 8 at 4 starts right now.
Live. This is News 8 at 4.
Hi, everybody. We are awfully glad you're with us on a Friday. I'm Darren Kramer.
I'm Ann Nyberg.
And I'm Catherine Hauser. Welcome to News 8 at 4. We do have a lot to talk about today, including those top headlines. Plus, a runner in New Haven attacked by a man with a gun.
Also, we're going to talk with a woman about swimming all 400 miles of the Connecticut River.
And there's, of course, the weekend weather. Still looking like a little bit of rain tomorrow. First, on the floor, the Jewish community is on high alert. Police responding today to dozens of bomb threats at synagogues and other Jewish organizations, including in Hamden and also in Ridgefield.
Those threats could be connected to Hamas calling for a, quote, day of rage. News 8's Tina Detel is live for us in New Haven now. Tina, were there any threats in the Elm City today?
Yes, there were threats, that according to the mayor and the police chief here in New Haven. Fortunately, however, none of them were credible, and also fortunately, none were here at this rally here held at City Hall, which was for solidarity with Israel. Now, we understand, actually, you can see behind me these posters, they're still hanging up. Those showed people who they say were kidnapped and were abducted this past weekend and who they are still searching for. Now, during this rally, we heard some horrifying and also heartbreaking stories of how they were taken and how family members continue to try to find them. Here in New Haven, the mayor says there were bomb threats received at Tweed Airport and at a Jewish cemetery in New Haven. He says that police cleared all the sites in New Haven where there was a bomb threat and says it's unfortunate to see this at a time when he says we need to be focusing on peace.
All right, Tina, there must be extra patrols and police presence everywhere at the synagogues and other Jewish organizations.
Yes, exactly. There are extra patrols at the synagogues here in the city, as well as Jewish schools. Police trying to keep an extra eye on things. There were also some officers here at this rally as well. Now, the police chief says that the police officers are swinging by locations in the Jewish community on a regular basis, and they are there, especially when they open and when they close. Now, he says more officers have been called in today, along with special units like the bomb team and SWAT team. So far, there have been no credible threats in New Haven, like I said before, and no activities have been canceled. We do understand, however, that at Congregation Mishkan Israel in Hamden, all activities and the preschool were canceled today because of a threat there. They didn't want to take any chances. Now, coming up at 6, we'll talk to some people who were here at this rally, and they had a message for Hamas on this so-called day of rage. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Tina Detel live for us in New Haven. Tina, thank you. Israel is warning people in Gaza now to evacuate as it continues its airstrikes against Hamas targets. It's gathering troops at the border with Gaza for a possible ground offensive. Israel responding to an attack by Hamas last weekend. Hundreds of people killed in the past week, including 27 Americans. 14 U.S. citizens are missing. ABC's Ines de la Cortera has the latest.
Tensions mounting amid the prospects of a ground offensive as Israel continues its airstrikes in Gaza. Israeli forces gathering at the border with Gaza. Officials urging residents of Gaza City to evacuate their homes and move south. The IDF saying it wants to avoid harming civilians.
We are going to destroy Hamas infrastructures, Hamas headquarters, Hamas military, and take this phenomena out of Gaza and out of thereof.
Israel's retaliatory strikes coming in response to Saturday's attack by Hamas terrorists. Men, women, and children brutally murdered, others taken hostage. According to the IDF, Israeli special forces have already carried out raids inside Gaza, trying to locate hostages, but their presence not part of a possible ground offensive. Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians have already been driven from their homes. Gaza now without power, water, food, or medicine. Hamas is telling Gaza residents to stay where they are.
This is the calm before the great disaster, where thousands of people started to displace to the southern part of the Gaza Strip, thinking it will be a safer place for them, while other hundreds and thousands stayed there just waiting for the upcoming death.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken has been meeting with Mideast leaders, including Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas.
Our focus now is on helping to create safe zones. And we're doing that with the leading international organizations. We're doing that engaged with Israel.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken has also said preventing a new front from opening up continues to be a focal point of his meetings. Meanwhile, the White House says President Biden has spoken to the families of the 14 Americans still unaccounted for. Inez de la Cuetara, ABC News, Tel Aviv, Israel.
Newly unsealed court documents accuse a former New Britain and Glastonbury police officer of being a serial burglar. Patrick Hemingway allegedly broke in and stole money from at least 30 businesses across 3 states, including Connecticut. News 8's Brittany Schaefer, she joins us live outside Glastonbury Police Department. And Brittany, what evidence do investigators have?
Well, Catherine, according to court documents, Patrick Hemingway allegedly robbed commercial businesses and restaurants here in Connecticut and also in Massachusetts and Rhode Island between February and June of this year, all while he was employed by the Glastonbury Police Department. Now, investigators are connecting him to these crimes using cell phone tower data and surveillance video. According to the documents, they claim that the 37-year-old targeted safes and cash registers and used a police-grade lock-picking toolkit. In many incidents, the suspect was allegedly caught on camera in a face mask and gloves driving a black Jeep Cherokee. According to the warrant, surveillance video in Glastonbury and Wethersfield show the suspect holding a flashlight and a tactical police technique. The arrest warrant also details the suspect was holding a coiled, corded object to his left ear that investigators believe was a portable police radio.
Brittany, you were in court for Hemingway's arraignment where he faced a computer crime charge. Any idea how that charge came to light?
Well, and according to the court documents, Hemingway used the collect data system. Now, that's used by police to look into data such as crime and vehicle data to see, allegedly from these reports, if police were onto him and if they were looking into him as a possible suspect. Now, coming up new at 5, what he allegedly searched into that data system and how many times he shockingly searched it. That's all coming up new at 5. But for now, I'll send it back to you in studio.
All right, Brittany, live for us in Glastonbury. Thank you. Police in New Haven are searching for whomever attacked a runner. It happened around 6 yesterday morning near Yale and Edgewood Avenues. Police say a suspect pulled a gun, tried to force the victim into the woods, then hit her in the face. A man who lives in the area says he was walking his dog at that time.
Out of nowhere, we heard a sound. I thought it was an animal or something at some point, but then it sounded like somebody was screaming. And so my dog and I, we walked over towards the woods, and it did. It sounded like somebody was yelling, and so we screamed out, "Hey, hey, hey!" And I had my dog started barking, and then it went silent.
Scary moments there. The 38-year-old victim was able to escape and get home. The suspect ran off into Edgewood Park.
Caught on camera, thieves steal a purse and a car at a gas station in East Haven. Take a look here. This was early Wednesday morning at Forbes on West Frontage Road. An Uber driver pumping gas. A stolen car pulled up. 3 people wearing masks jump out. They say they hit her in the face, took her purse, and then stole the car. They found the car abandoned in West Haven. The other car was found in New Haven. So far, no one has been arrested.
A Watertown man is charged with animal cruelty. 41-year-old Justin Contout is under arrest. Animal Control tipped off in March about injuries to his dog. They say he also found a cat dead. The town took custody of the dog. It has since recovered from its injuries and has been adopted into a new home.
A former Brantford fire paramedic will not spend time behind bars for a deadly hit-and-run crash. Amanda Mark of Killingworth has been given a 4-year suspended sentence. She hit and killed 52-year-old Douglas Clark in North Brantford. In October of 2021, Mark was arrested in May of last year. The Brantford fire chief says she was immediately put on administrative leave. She then resigned. Mark worked for the Brantford Fire Department from September of 2009 until July of 2022.
A New Haven man is charged with a street takeover in Milford. 31-year-old Kendall Rose turned himself in yesterday. He faces several charges, including reckless driving and driving on a sidewalk. That street takeover happened in July. Police say about 300 dirt bikes, ATVs, and motorcycles were involved.
New information about a deadly motorcycle crash in Cromwell. The victim has been identified as 58-year-old Steve Lee of Middletown. The crash happened on Berlin Road just before 5 last night. Lee and a car collided. Lee died at the scene. The other driver was taken to the hospital and will survive.
2 new Amazon delivery stations are open in Connecticut in time for the holidays. One opened in Glastonbury in late August. The other opened in South Windsor late last month. Amazon says the 2 sites have already created more than 250 full-time and part-time jobs. The online shopping giant has more than 15,000 full and part-time employees here in Connecticut. All right, over to Ashley.
All right, well, as you can see, it's been a nice bright day out there. We're still enjoying plenty of sunshine in Hartford, where temperatures are right around 65 degrees. We're at 62 in Willimantic, at 65 here in New Haven. We're down to 59 degrees in Waterbury. So it was a little bit cooler out there today, all thanks to the fact that winds switch more out of the north and northwest. Even now, there's still a bit of a breeze. You can see winds are blowing anywhere between 7 to about 14 miles per hour, but I do expect those winds will back off a little bit more overnight and onto your Saturday. So increasing clouds expected tonight as we are watching this system march across the upper Midwest towards the East Coast. Temperatures are going to drop into the low and mid 40s. And then tomorrow it'll be a dry start to the day, but then we'll see that rain move in around midday and continue through the afternoon. But some of you may escape the day without a single raindrop. I'll let you know who you are. All right, in the meantime, folks in Florida are still cleaning up from severe weather. 2 EF2 tornadoes touched down in the Tampa area, causing widespread damage in Clearwater Beach and Crystal River. The first tornado dropped down in northern Clearwater Beach. It actually traveled over the channel and then lifted in Dunedin. Now, max winds were around 115 miles per hour with that tornado. The second tornado was a little farther to the north. It ripped through Crystal River with winds around 125 miles per hour. And the National Weather Service is expected to confirm more tornadoes.
Wow, a lot of damage there. Thank you, Ashley. Republicans meeting behind closed doors again today, trying to figure out who's going to be their new House Speaker. Louisiana Congressman Steve Scalise has ended his bid. Attention is now turning to Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan. ABC's Liz Landers has the latest.
I think we need to get a speaker. That's what the Constitution says.
The House of Representatives has now gone more than a week without a speaker. Republican members met for several hours Friday morning to try to hash out who will be their nominee for the top position. 2 candidates emerged. House Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan,
I think I can unite the conference. I think I can go tell the country what we're doing and why it matters to them.
Who announced his intention to run again after losing the nomination to Majority Leader Steve Scalise earlier this week. And Georgia Congressman Austin Scott, a member of the Armed Services Committee, who threw his hat into the ring Friday morning. Members still describe a consensus candidate as an uphill battle.
Always is at this point with such thin margins, but I think we're very close. We're closer this time than we were the last time.
Scalise, who dropped out of the race late Thursday, blaming his GOP colleagues for putting personal interests over the country.
There are still some people that have their own agendas, and I was very clear. We have to have everybody put their agendas on the side and focus on what this country needs.
One Florida congressman says that the war in Israel and other global conflicts add new urgency to their speaker selection process.
We need to get over it, get our heads out of our rear end, as we say in the Army, and get back to work because we have a sacred obligation to them.
President Biden has indicated that he wants Congress to pass an additional supplemental funding package for Israel, but that can only be passed once a Speaker of the House has been sworn in. In Washington, Liz Landers, ABC News.
It's time for today's talk. Chipotle is raising its prices. A company executive says a modest price increase is coming for the first time in more than a year. It blames inflation. Chipotle did not say which menu items will see price hikes or when that will happen. I already thought that they did increase prices fairly recently.
Isn't that the case of everybody these days? Everybody's
True.
raising their prices on everything, which is what everybody's griping about, because you go to the grocery store, you know, and it's really expensive for people. So it's not surprising that they're raising their prices too.
And I'm surprised, as a family of 4, even with fast food, sometimes I look at the receipt and I'm sort of, it's sticker shock. We're going, whoa, that costs a lot more than I thought it was going to cost.
Right, I think it's the same for everybody.
Yep.
A NASA spacecraft is on day 1 of a 6-year journey, 6 years, to a rare asteroid made of metal. All this just is crazy for me because I don't get it. SpaceX launched the Psyche spacecraft today from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The craft is named for the metal-rich asteroid it's chasing. Scientists believe it's the battered remains of an early planet's iron core. You getting all this, Catherine?
Yeah.
No one has ever explored a world with a metal surface before. Scientists hope it can shed light on the inaccessible centers of Earth and other rocky planets. Psyche should reach the asteroid in 2029. This is better.
A while.
Yeah, this is better left to astrophysicists, right? Or somebody that really can get their head around this stuff.
Sure, it sounds like something out of a movie, but that's really happening. It's on its way. It's going to take a while, take a few years.
So check back with us in 6 years.
Good plan. Well, listen to this. The UConn men's and women's basketball teams are going to kick off the 2023-2024 season tonight. First night festivities will be held tonight at Gamble Pavilion. A block party on Jim Calhoun Way starts at 5, so just under an hour. There's going to be food trucks, carnival games, a photo booth, a DJ, and more. Then first night officially starts at 7. You do need a ticket to get into Gamble tonight. We'll take you live to UConn campus and stores on News 8 at 5 and 6. This is always such a fun time of year.
Talk about state pride. I've been in this state for almost 40 years, longer than you've been alive almost. And the sense of pride and to see these programs grow over the decades to what it was, to what it is now, is absolutely sensational.
UConn basketball, the great equalizer, brings everybody together here in Connecticut. Doesn't matter where you are, you're rooting for them.
Yeah.
And what a season they had. We're coming off what a season they had last year.
They all put us on the map. Thanks for doing that.
Yep.
All right. A Massachusetts woman is making her final stretch to completely swim all 410 miles of the Connecticut River. Carrie Castango started in 2019. She swam a new section of the river every year between Memorial Day and Labor Day. She reached the halfway point last year and was determined to be the first person to swim the whole thing. Her goal is to raise awareness of the river's significance and efforts to keep it clean. Castango will make her final swim Sunday in Olyme. We have photos of her swim on WTNH.com. 410 miles.
That's remarkable.
And it's cold right now.
Oh, it sure is.
And she's got to swim around stuff, and I worry about her safety.
I do too, and it sounds like there's a lot of people who are talking about this on social media, aren't they, Darren?
Listen, I'm thrilled when I make it to the edge of the pool safely. But a lot of people have a lot of lovely things to say about this feat. Take a look. More than 200 comments on our Facebook page. Here are a couple. Megan says, have fun. I started in the bottom VT. Took me 3 days to get back near Six Flags in canoes. It was super fun. Stay safe. All right. Yeah, also got this one from Pollard. I'd never be able to do that. She's really brave. Not only the currents, but what else is lurking in those waters. Yeah.
Right.
Right. You go, girl. All right. And this is Elijah. Congratulations in advance, Carrie. You are an awesome inspiration. And she is. Here's one more. This is Mary. She says, way to go. Now, this is cool. The world will be a much better place if more people had hobbies and strange but cool goals like this woman. I agree. Everybody in agreement today. That's a pretty neat thing. All right, guys, back to you. And you can join us, right? Tell them.
Yeah, join us for today's talk. We love hearing from you. We share your comments, or if we pick your comment, we're going to read it on the air. So please join the discussion every day. You can find it right on our Facebook page, and we may read those comments on the air. So
all right.
Yeah, join us.
Yeah. Speaking of water, Mystic Aquarium is celebrating its 50th anniversary this weekend. Festivities start tomorrow, starting at 1. Fireworks over the Mystic River are scheduled for tomorrow night at 7:30. Mystic Aquarium is offering free admission this month for educators and school support staff. It's a way to say thank you during Educators Appreciation Month. Educators need to reserve tickets using their school email. You'll also need to show your school ID or other proof of employment. Ashley, that would be fun for your little one.
Oh, she loves going. And we always love getting a good selfie with Juno the whale, too. All right, so here's a look at what's going on. It is beautiful outside. We're enjoying plenty of sunshine. Notice a few more scattered clouds off to our north. But the system that we are tracking is still well off to our west. You can see it's really bugging the upper Midwest from Omaha to Minneapolis, stretching down through Chicago and St. Louis. So that is heading in our direction. But the center of that storm should dive a little farther south. So that's some good news for us. Here's a live look in Waterbury, where temperatures are around 59 degrees. It is 64 in Windsor Locks. We're also at 64 in New London, 64 in Meriden, 64 degrees in Bridgeport. Temperatures are running a bit cooler than they were at this time yesterday, anywhere between 2 to 7 degrees cooler than where we were. And that's all thanks to the fact that the winds have shifted more out of the north and northwest. You can see those winds blowing anywhere between 7 to about 14 miles per hour. So if you're heading out in the next couple of hours, you may notice that breeze kick up from time to time. And here's a look at our hour-by-hour forecast. Things will be nice and quiet through this evening, but overnight, notice the clouds are going to fill in. but so far they're coming along. So if you have any early runs or walks tomorrow morning, you should be fine, as the first half of our Saturday will be dry. But by midday, we'll start to notice some of that rain filling in across the state, likely starting off in the southwest corner first and then spreading across most of Connecticut. Now, the closer you are to the Massachusetts state line, or I'd even say through parts of Windham County, there's a chance you may escape Saturday with just a few sprinkles, or you even make it through the day perfectly dry. I think if you're across central and southern Connecticut, you're more likely to see the rain. And as we go from Saturday night into Sunday, we're going to see the system move away. It'll allow the clouds to break apart. So by Sunday, we'll be tracking more of a mix of sun and clouds, with temperatures inching their way back into the lower 60s. But of course, the college football games are tomorrow when the rain is coming in. Got Yale taking on Sacred Heart at noon. Temperatures will be in the mid 50s there. And then the New Haven Chargers taking on St. Anselm at 1 o'clock. And by then, we'll likely start to see some raindrops falling. So tonight, increasing clouds, but it will stay dry through morning as temperatures dip down into the 40s. And then tomorrow, a dry start, but a bit of a soggy afternoon with temperatures in the upper 50s. Now, looking at your entire weekend, you can see things do get better on Sunday. More sunshine there. We'll be in the lower 60s. And here's a look at your 8-day shoreline forecast, where Monday we will be tracking more clouds. Same goes for Tuesday. And Tuesday we may end the day with a spot shower, but by next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we'll get back into the sunshine as temperatures do start to climb nicely. We'll be in the mid 60s by next Thursday. We may close out next week, Friday, with temperatures in the upper 60s, maybe even near 70 degrees. But you know, this is one of those 50-50 weekends, Darren, where clearly one day is a little nicer than the other.
Well, how long has it been since we had a really nice weekend? It's been a long time, right?
It's been a minute.
A month?
Well, I mean, last weekend I was...
honestly, right?
It's been a minute. Last weekend I was in Florida, so last weekend for me was perfectly fine.
This is not about you, girlfriend. All right, Ann, back to you.
All right.
Not about you, girlfriend.
We still have a lot more to get to ahead at 4. Coming up, it's the end of an era at Best Buy. What that chain will no longer be selling.
Ford is recalling more than 200,000 of its Explorer SUVs. Is yours one of them?
Plus, why country music superstar Chris Stapleton is postponing some of his shows. When News 8 at 4 continues. Stay with us.
Here are today's tech headlines. We call this segment Plugged In. First off today, the biggest acquisition in gaming history became a done deal today. After a nearly 2-year legal battle, Microsoft has finally closed its $68 billion deal to buy Activision Blizzard, one of the biggest game publishers in the world. That means Microsoft now owns titles like Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, and others. Both U.S. and U.K. regulators had big concerns about Microsoft owning so much of the gaming business. Microsoft won in court. The Federal Trade Commission says it will still challenge that deal. Another big step today toward the death of the DVD. The Digital Bits is reporting that next year Best Buy will end all physical media sales, including DVDs and Blu-ray discs. Netflix got out of the DVD business just a few weeks ago. Now they say they are opening physical stores. Bloomberg reporting they're going to be called Netflix House. They'll sell merchandise from Netflix shows, restaurants with show-themed menus, even a Squid Game obstacle course. The first store should open in 2025. We don't know where yet or exactly how many there will be. That is today's tech news, and you are plugged in.
The security stepping up to ensure Jewish people are able to come together safely. Plus, a Yale petition making international headlines why they're calling for the university to remove one of its professors. And a former cop accused of serial burglary. The court documents revealing how he found himself on the other side of the law. We begin with a scary day in Connecticut. Good evening, I'm Lisa Carber. Dennis is off. Police across the state were busy today responding to dozens of bomb threats at synagogues and other Jewish organizations. Now, they believe it's connected to Hamas calling for a day of rage today. Despite the threats, Jewish Americans showed up and stood in the face of hate.
I am a proud American Jew. I am here. I am not afraid. Because when we are afraid and when we stop living our lives, we talked about this on 9/11. We let them win. They will not win. They will not prevail in Israel. They will not make me afraid.
Sure thing.
There were also threats at some airports in the state. Police stepped up security at high-risk areas and worked closely with the FBI to make sure everyone stayed safe. So far, they tell us they have found no credible threats. So, well, students are now pushing to have a Yale professor removed after a series of controversial tweets about the war in Israel and Gaza. Yale junior Natal Crisp created a petition that has more than 40,000 signatures asking for the removal of Professor Zarina Grewal after some of her social media posts, one saying, quote, "My heart is in my throat, prayers for Palestinians. Israel is a murderous, genocidal settler state, and Palestinians have every right to resist through armed struggle, solidarity, hashtag Free Palestine." Nathaniel says her posts contradict Yale's values.
I'm not trying to make any issue on free speech. That's not the purpose of this. There are very basic moral grounds which are being completely trampled upon by this professor. Again, these are completely in contradiction with the values that Yale supposedly holds itself to. Our motto is Lux et Veritas, light and truth.
Now, Yale released a statement saying it's committed to freedom of expression, and the comments represent her own view. We've reached out to Professor Grewal for comment, and we have not heard back. Well, new court documents accuse a former Glastonbury police officer of being a serial burglar while he was employed at the department. The warrant for 37-year-old Patrick Hemingway claims he was responsible for 30 or more burglaries in Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts between February and June of this year. He's also accused of running his own car license plates through the police computer system, apparently to see if he was under investigation. Hemingway was arraigned in September on a computer crime charge and making a false statement. New developments in the ballot stuffing case in Bridgeport. The woman at the center of some controversial videos was on the stand today. The big thing in court today was new video entered into evidence, a total of 20 minutes. In those videos, we allegedly see a supporter of Mayor Joe Ganim stuffing multiple ballots in a box. In a second video, we see the drop box being stuffed again in what appears to be a high five when it's done. The woman in both videos is allegedly Wanda Geeter Pataki, a former Bridgeport city employee who is now on suspended leave. Today, she pled the fifth to multiple questions, including whether or not that is her in the video.
This election may have had bad actors involved. I'm not saying that that didn't occur, but it's not to a level that would disenfranchise all the thousands of voters who did it right.
When I knock on those doors and people tell me their vote don't count, they exemplify that. It stains the political world. It stains Bridgeport. And quite frankly, it's very sad that we're in this situation today.
Next week, Mayor Joe Ganim is expected to take the stand. Joe.
Hi, Lisa. Hello to you, everyone. You know, this time of year, when you go back and you look at October, it's just amazing. The really extreme weather events. How about back this weekend, 2005? We had major flooding going on in Connecticut. 3 people swept away by flash floods, 3 fatalities. Yeah, that was right on the heels of Katrina down south. Remember talking to somebody that was in the river in Canton there, and thought they were going to get swept away. So bottom line is anything goes this time of year. For now, we'd love to go with the weather we had today for the rest of the month. 65 Hartford, 66 New Haven, sunshine, blue sky, looking great. Right now, it's 50 at Bradley and 55 New Haven, but the outlying countryside is in the 40s. And 40s to start the day tomorrow. I think some of you see the sunshine for a while tomorrow morning. Could be a few 30s in here as well. So for the Eversource Hartford Marathon, half marathon, we're doing great. We're dry for the race tomorrow morning as this system pulls in from the west. It's not going to be until the afternoon. Some rain rolls in, first in Fairfield County, then New Haven County as we head through the mid-late afternoon. You guys in northern Connecticut, eastern areas, you're mainly dry. So the most, as far as the wetness goes, is in Fairfield, New Haven County, maybe a little bit to the east. And then, well, we're fantastic for Sunday. We'll talk about that next week. The 8-day forecast coming up.
All right, the UConn campus buzzing tonight for first night. That's when students are introduced to the new men's and women's basketball team members for the university. News 8's Bob Wilson was there.
Friday night on the UConn campus, hardly anybody's around. That's because they're all inside Gamble Pavilion. It's the first look on the first night at the men and women UConn Huskies. It was baptism by fire for the freshmen. For some, the first time in Gamble, first time seeing first night.
It's a different experience. I can't even describe it with words. It's just really nice. I just love the sense of community and belongingness that UConn builds, and I'm just so great to be here.
The first night mania started early in the afternoon. The band hyping up the crowd both inside Gamble and outside the Basketball Hall of Champions. Tickets for tonight's event gone within 15 minutes.
I got stuck in the waiting room, so I was very scared, but thankfully my mom at home got on for me and got me a ticket, so it was okay.
Go Mom!
Yeah, she's the best.
Of course they sold out in 15 minutes. I'm surprised. I thought it would take 10.
And for those who have been there before, it just never gets old. You here last year at this time?
Oh yeah, it was amazing then too, and you know, just all the hype around the season, and now there's even more hype coming off that national championship. We got a ton of great recruits. We're coming back, and we're gonna win another one.
It was crazy, just the whole environment, being in Gamble, just watching everyone celebrate, and all of us just like have a great time.
It was a great night, a great day. We even saw Coach Hurley around the corner on his way into the arena, shaking hands, even reaching down, giving a little girl a high five. Everybody's excited for the new season to come. On the UConn campus at Storrs, Bob Wilson, News 8.
Helping students whenever they're struggling. The new safe space at a Bristol high school promoting mental wellness.
Well, hey there, everyone. The team has assembled once again. It is Friday night, kind of my favorite time of the year. So much going on with all the high school football.
Transition.
Yeah, college.
It didn't rain.
I know. We're getting lucky.
About time.
Yeah, he's already scooted out of here. But we've got some high school football and other things as well.
Yeah, let's tip off right away with a packed house in Storrs tonight. They call it First Night. Husky fans getting ready in their first look at the UConn men's and women's basketball teams. Player introductions always a big hit as the squads show off their dancing moves. Woo! Freshman Cadence
Bob, you could
Samuels.
Do that.
Yeah, I think he might.
Look at that, huh?
Stealing the show. Biggest ovation for Paige Beckers.
Yeah.
Coming back from a knee injury, and of course Bristol's native son Donovan Klingen showing off the hardware, the big championship ring. After that, the squad split up into a blue versus white. Plenty of skills competitions prior to the festivities. The respective coaches talked about Storrs and now how it calls itself the basketball capital of the world.
You know, we've done something no other school's ever done, you know, and we've done it twice, where the men and women both won a national championship the same year. So, you know, we have a reason to brag about it.
I love the basketball capital world on the court because it's accurate. You know, if it was like delusional or inaccurate, I would have been against it. But you know, the success on both sides with the national championships.
And John, I know both of us would be just fine with going to another Final Four for both teams, as both teams once again in national championship conversation, John.
I wouldn't complain. 2004, 2014, can they do it again in 2024? All right, high school football now. Cheshire has one of the best high school football atmospheres in the state, and when the Rams are winning, it is at another level. Don Drust and his third-ranked team hosting a good Hamden team tonight. Rams, though, had the Green Dragons number. Already up 14-0. Cheshire finds the end zone again. Aniston Marsh to Jeffrey Gonzalez, and look at the move, shaking and baking and getting in the end zone. His second of the game, and that has Ramland all fired up. Such a great student section over there, and they had plenty to cheer about. The place was packed tonight. Next possession for the Rams, more offense. It's Gonzalez again. Kid runs with power and a purpose. He had 3 touchdowns tonight. Cheshire up by 28. And then the defense gets involved. Hamden with the trouble on the snap. Guys in red like sharks swarm to the ball. And how about that home field bounce for Adam Vernon? He says thank you. He's in for another touchdown. Tough night for Hamden, who managed just 17 yards of offense. That stat courtesy of our buddy Dave Phillips from Game Time. Cheshire pitches a shutout, 41-0. The Rams are now 6-0. Eric?
Shelton visiting Fairfield Prep tonight down at Rafferty Stadium. UConn assistant coaches John Marinelli and Doug Shearer making the trip to Prep. First quarter, Shelton gets on the board. Quarterback Mike Kinnick looking deep to his favorite receiver, Kanye Tinney. I think he does this every week. 49-yard touchdown pass, 7-zip Gales. Next drive, Shelton on the move again. Kinnick running the RPO. Doesn't fake me out. I stuck with it this week. 18 yards for the touchdown. Yeah, he had 3 touchdowns.
Over it.
Gales win 28-7. You know, Shelton's got 2 losses this year to West Haven and Cheshire. Shelton's pretty good. Bob.
Thanks, Eric. Over at Foreign, the Lions playing host to Woodstock Academy, picking up second quarter, 6-0 in favor of Woodstock. Centaurs with the Sakaruski in the end zone. That would be called a safety. 8-0 Woodstock. Then the Lions looking to move in. The pass intercepted by Dylan Phillips. Takes it all the way down. Does he score? No. But it kind of ends the half at 8-0. Third quarter, Lions on the move. Gabriel Benessi powers his way in from 1 yard out. It cut it to 8-6. Foreign keeps it rolling. They end up winning this baby 21-15, the final. Eric.
All right, Daniel Tan taking a ride down 95 to Milford, just near Foreign, taking on Jonathan Law. 6-0 Tigers in the second quarter, looking for more. Jack Shea, quick pass to Owen Prescott, touchdown Tigers 13-0. Eric Becker's team is playing really well of late. A little later in the quarter, Shea, another quick pass, this time to Aiden Dolan. 20 yards and a touchdown, 20 zip hand. They go on to win it by the final score of 30-0. 5 straight wins for the Tigers, John.
Look out.
All right, in New Haven, the cheerleaders and band from Hill House out there to back up their academics. House hosting Lyman Hall of Wallingford. Scoreless in the second quarter. Trojans put a nice drive together. The big play, Ryan Casey on the screen pass, and watch Gavin Janowski eat up the yards. This is going to set up a touchdown for Lyman Hall, who goes up 7-0. They've been on a 4-game win streak, looking to make it 5. Hill House answers with a drive of its own. The Ren Newton, this is one tough 10-yard run. Look at this. He's not going to take no for an answer. Stretches, gets into the end zone for a touchdown. Walter Gibbs and the Academics win their second straight 26-7 your final. Eric?
Beautiful night in Stratford. Look at that sky. Bethel visiting.
It doesn't look real. It's
hey,
like
look,
art.
Look, guys, they even had the cotton candy machine going tonight. No, John, I did not have it.
I'm always thinking with my stomach.
First drive of the game, Bulldogs ground game is legit. Running back KK Smalls is huge. Old school back, Earl Campbell type run there. A couple plays later, Berto Torres goes in for the touchdown. 8 yards, 7-0 Bunnell. Next drive, the Bulldogs looking for more, and it's going to be quarterback Steve Mendoza looking long. JT Turnage is wide open for the touchdown. 14-0 Dogs. They go on to win it by the final score of 49-zip. John.
All right, let's talk a little hockey now. The national champion Quinnipiac men's hockey team looking to bounce back this weekend after opening the year with an overtime loss to Boston College. Rand Pecknold's Bobcats playing a home-and-home with AIC tonight. They were on the road, had to play catch-up a couple times, down 1-0. The captain, Jaden Lee, scores to pull this thing even at 1 apiece. Third period, QU down 2-1 with just over 3 minutes to play. Travis Treloar working the crease hard. He finally gets this thing to sneak over the line to tie the game at 2. Jacob Quillen won it in overtime for the Bobcats, 3-2. The two teams play again tomorrow in Hamden. Eric?
UConn men on the road at Holy Cross tonight. No score in the second period. Huskies on the power play. Shot on net, and freshman Jake Richard deflects it in. Second goal of his young career. It's 1-0 UConn. But Holy Cross would get the next two. Tied at 1, the Crusaders short-handed. Jack Ricketts going hard to the net. He scores. Holy Cross wins it 2-1. Huskies home tomorrow night against the Crusaders, Bob.
Eric, Sacred Heart's home opener. Looking nice there, against Colgate tonight. Pioneers down 2-0. They get one back here. Braden Tuck sets up TJ Walsh. That blast makes it a 2-1 game. So Sacred Heart down just 1, down 3-1, less than 2 minutes to go in the third. Kevin Lombardi with a power play goal, but it's not enough. Colgate wins it 3-2, the final. John.
The 8th-ranked Quinnipiac women playing host to Providence College at M&T Bank Arena. Bobcats get down 1-0. They explode in the third period. Zoe Ewens with the shot. Julia Nearest ties it at 1. 6 minutes later, Nina Steigoff out behind the net. Tough shot from the angle, scores. Quinnipiac wins it 4-1. Cassie Turner's Cats are now 5-0.
UConn up at Boston College this afternoon. Third period, 3-2 Eagles. Huskies on the power play. Great passing. Finally broke. Brooke Campbell the pass to Christina Walker on the doorstep to the left of the net. Tied at 3. To overtime we go. The BC's Abby Newhook on the breakout down the left side. UConn falls 4-3. The final score.
All right, time for a quick break. When we come back, we check in on the pros on the ice. Wolfpack and Islanders open their season tonight, plus some fall ball from UConn. We'll talk a little baseball when we get back. Welcome back, everyone. Week 6 of the high school football season, the halfway point for teams around the state. Today in Bridgeport, the cheerleaders from Bullard Havens Tech Colby Cathedral Co-op had plenty to cheer about. Tigers take a 10-0 lead on Bassick and add more. Angel Fonseca on the money to Stanley St. Victor Jr. Derek Lewis's team takes a 17-0 lead, but the Lions answer right back, have some big playability. Quarterback Kaheem Simmons hits Peter Enciette, and he does the rest. A lot of room to run. 71 yards for a Bassick touchdown. Makes it a 17-6 game. Desmond Lyman's guys kept on battling. Late in the opening quarter, Tigers score again. Fonseca does it himself. 51-12, Bullard Havens' 3rd win of the season for the Tigers. Also tonight, Rockville took on Granby Canton in the completion of a weather-shortened game 2 weeks ago. Late second quarter, 14-0 Rockville. They get some more. Amir Knighton gets the pitch, takes it in from the 3. It's 20-0 Rams at the break. Late fourth quarter, Rockville quarterback Brady Ramsdale from his own 4 goes up top. There's Garrett Paul on the other end. He brings it in, takes it inside the Granby 5. A couple plays after that, he's gang tackled there. It's going to go to Knighton to finish off the drive from the 4. Rockville goes on to beat Granby 34-0. Earlier this afternoon, another weather-delayed game between Rocky Hill and Platt of Meriden finished up. Third quarter, 14-0 Platt, and the Panthers add to that lead. Melvin Sanchez finds his tight end, Jaden Vega. Vega with some tough yards after the catch. He gets in to score. Platt goes up by 20. The Terriers, though, would get one back when quarterback Joseph Motes finds Daryl Asante. Platt gets into the air. The lead is cut to 20-8. Platt still out in front. And then in the 4th, Amari Robinson would score a short touchdown for Platt as they roll over Rocky Hill 2 weeks later, 38-8. Great expectation for the New York Rangers this season. The Blue Shirts began the Peter Laviolette era. They did it tonight in Buffalo. Laviolette on the bench now, coaching his 6th NHL team. First period, Rangers score quickly. Alex Lafreniere rebound out in front. The Broadway Blues grab a 1-0 lead. New York's going to need a big year out of the former #1 overall pick. Later in the period, Rangers on the power play. Mika Zibanejad shoots, and Chris Kreider, the master of the tip-in, puts it home. 2-0 Rangers. Kreider had 2 goals and an assist tonight. Rangers win it 5-1. The Quinnipiac men's hockey team back on the ice this weekend. Greenwich's Cooper Moore and QU play a home-and-home with AIC. The Bobcats looking to bounce back after an opening season loss to Boston College. Moore is one of the new guys on the roster. He transferred in from another national power, North Dakota. The former Brunswick School kid is one of a handful of Connecticut natives on Rand Pecknold's roster, and coming home was a no-brainer for the senior defenseman.
The culture here is just top-notch. I mean, it starts with the coaches and Coach B and Coach Pecknold and Coach Dumais, and then it goes into the captains and then the upperclassmen all the way down to the lowerclassmen. You know, I mean, everyone around has seen it grow in front of their eyes from into a national championship caliber program, and you know, we just wanted to come here, and we knew it was a national championship caliber team, and we want to continue that tradition.
Bobcats play at AIC tomorrow, then home on Saturday. The UConn women's hockey team back to work this weekend after a great opening weekend at Penn State. The Huskies moved into the top 15. Connecticut gets ready now for a home-and-home series with Boston College. UConn looking for a little payback against the Eagles, who eliminated the Huskies last year in the Hockey East quarterfinals. Connecticut has more depth this season and won't be afraid to use it. The Huskies have already gotten people's attention, ranked 14th in one poll, 15th in another.
I definitely feel like a lot of people underestimate our team, and people are going to learn pretty quickly not to do that. I think we're going to bring a lot to the table. So seeing that we did crack that, it's nice to see. But whether we're on the rankings or we're not, we're going to keep playing the same way, keep bringing the same grit and passion for the game. And I think we're going to surprise a lot of people and do really well this year.
You don't want to get too high or too low with the polls. You know, if you're in or out of them, it's more or less where's your team at that weekend and what you're doing. It's nice to be recognized by your peers. At the same time, you've got to try to prove it every weekend.
Huskies are at BC Friday, host the Eagles Saturday afternoon.
All right, Joe, nice weather.
Yeah, pay no attention to tomorrow's Friday the 13th.
Okay.
All right, so we're talking about the sunshine, the breeze, a light jacket for tomorrow. Temperature 50s in the hills, low 60s in the valley and the shore. And you know what? The weekend's pretty good.
That'll do it. Jimmy Kimmel Live is up next.
Golden Bachelor's on.
Jerry Turner.
Yeah. How about that? You excited about that?
We had a watch party tonight. We hope you did too. All right, tune in.
All right.